It turns out that tiramisu and cheesecake work very well together. I'm going to start with brewing 1 shot of espresso, which is about 1.5 ounces of liquid. You can also use another coffee, like an instant coffee, whatever you like. I'm going to prepare my 6-inch springform pan so I can line the ladyfingers that I'm going to use on them. Parchment paper will prevent the ladyfingers to stick to the bottom. And now for the liquid, 1 tablespoon of Kahlua, that's a liquor. You can skip it if you don't like. And for a little bit extra sweetness, 1 tablespoon of sugar-free syrup. I use skinny syrups. And 7 ladyfingers we're gonna use. They're very soft and they absorb the liquid pretty well. Make sure you don't over soak them so they don't fall apart, but make sure you have enough liquid so you can have the flavor. I'm going to use about 7 of them, and if they don't fit perfectly, just stick them in there however it makes sense. And for the cheese, I'm going to use mascarpone cheese this time, but you can also use just regular cream cheese. And I added a little bit of a sweetener. And for the other half, or maybe over half, the base, it's going to be farmer's cheese. This is a light farmer's cheese, and as you can see, it's a bit grainy. So I'm going to process it until smooth for a perfect cheesecake. And this is the consistency you should get. This is very high protein cheese, and also it's fairly low in calories comparing to, let's say, mascarpone cheese or cream cheese. So it's a very good option. If you don't have it, if you cannot find it, you can use also ricotta cheese. Cream both cheeses as well with that sweetener. And I'm gonna need 3 large eggs. I'm gonna keep on adding them one at a time while I'm mixing. And to make it really tiramisu-like flavor, I'm gonna combine 1 tablespoon of instant coffee and 1 tablespoon of cocoa, unsweetened cocoa powder, and I'm gonna add them to the batter. And the batter is pretty much ready. Pour it on top of the ladyfingers. And what's very important is to use the water bath for any cheesecake you make. That way it's gonna cook evenly and won't crack. Proven method already. I've made few of them already. And this is a foil that I'm gonna surround that pan with. So once I put the cheesecake in a water bath, the water doesn't get in. And I have a little pan, which is good enough for me, but if you need a bigger one, it's perfectly fine as well. I'm gonna add boiling water to it while I'm putting it in preheated oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And just leave it, bake it for 45 minutes, then reduce the temperature to 250 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for additional 25 minutes or so. And once you take it out of the oven, cool it outside for about 2 hours so it's not too hot, and cover it up and put it in the refrigerator for 8 hours, or you can leave it there overnight. And here is the little mistake I've made. I didn't line it all over with parchment paper. I just put the bottom of it, and I had a really hard time to remove it, and I kind of cracked it and doesn't look too great. So I decided to change it and correct the mistake, and I lined the whole thing with parchment paper. And look how easy it is to remove it. The sides might not be looking so perfect, and now you have the parchment paper all over it. That's going to be hard to take it, so I decided to just use my scissors and cut it around. It's maybe not for best presentation, but I'm just going to eat it anyway. I put some cocoa powder on top so it looks like a true tiramisu. And this will make 8 serving sizes or 16. I mean, I don't know how big you like them. I like them fairly big, so for me 1/8 will do. And this cheesecake per slice has only 240 calories and 10 grams of protein, so you can eat it pretty much guilt-free. It's really, really good. It has this tiramisu delicious flavor. You just must try. But before you start eating desserts, make sure you make a delicious high protein dinner so you don't overeat on dessert, or like this one. And that's exactly where I'm gonna see you next.